Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 69. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, I'm excited. I am super pumped for today's show because, man, it's a good one. And don't get me wrong, we always bring it, right? Every show's a banger when it comes to the Virtual Strangers. But today, I feel like we really got the goods. How are you feeling today?
Good, good. I was just thinking what Rendered Reality was saying. I was like, 69. Did I hear that right? That's like a special number, right?
Yeah,
Crazy.
man, I'm loving episode 69, and you know who else loves 69, Roots?
I think
My mom!
I need to get that button a little bit more accessible. I'm switching my setup here in all sorts of ways. I got this new mic stand. It's actually nice now. It doesn't look any different, but it now actually comes from the back of my desk to the front, so I don't have a big bar across my face. Which actually was kind of hard to maneuver my keyboard and everything before, so I'm kind of happy.
You know who maneuvers well with things across their face, Roots?
My
I
mom!
didn't know that about her, man. She is very, very flexible, apparently.
Quite the lady.
Yeah, and it comes in good with the 69 episode. So
Dude, episode 69 is shaping up to be epic. A lot of weeks, I've got to search for things to talk about. And in recent weeks, especially, we've talked a lot about ports, PSVR ports, Quest ports. Pistol Whip came to PSVR this week. Onward came to Quest this week. This stuff didn't even make the cut.
wow. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Well, and what's funny about the Onward debacle, and I guess we can talk about it a little bit, is because I've heard people in the Discord just freaking out. Is Durillo right? Was Durillo right when he was saying that the Quest was going to drag games down? Because I kind of rolled my eyes for the most part at most of all of that, but now we're starting to see it. We're starting to see games that existed on PC before, and now with the Quest release, the PC version is now downgraded, and it's kind of an issue for me because it's more of an issue for the developers because not every developer's doing this, and I kind of feel like it's cutting a corner. I don't know if maybe I'm just being unrealistic. I'm not a developer, but do you feel the same way? Do you feel like certain developers are cutting corners to get it out quickly on the Quest, and they're affecting the PC experience as well?
Well, first of all, shout out to Drillo for finally being right. Because I got to say, I agree with him here in this specific case. But that said, we all need to take a deep breath because as we know, VR development is an ongoing process. And the way things tend to look on day one are generally not the way that they tend to look on day 31. Um, you're right, not every developer does this, but more of them do it than you realize. It's just not normally as obvious as this is. For example, contractors did very much the same thing when they released their Quest beta. The PC version took a little bit of a visual hit, but I think we'll all agree that it still looks really good and it's really well done. So, Onward's been a very quality title for a very long time, very popular title, and with the kind of uproar that this visual downgrade has caused, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see some answer to it in the very near term future.
I hope so, because like I said, for me, it's not saying the developer's not good, because clearly they make a good game. The game's amazing. But it's like we have these developers like No Man's Sky or just different developers that we can say, man, these fucking guys, they banged it out. They persevered, they did all this stuff, and you watch the progression. And I guess what we'll see is, like you said, maybe 6 months from now, Onward PC still looks like shit. Then I'll start talking crap again, or maybe not even that long. But I just feel like the developers, in some respect, dropped the ball just to get it out there. But Spry Guy made a good point. They says he thinks that Onward had to get their game out there on Quest or lose sales to Contractors. It's very possible. I still think Contractors is a better game than Onward in general, but I haven't played Onward for, I don't know, it's been a long time. Maybe I need to get in there and check it out. So
Rendered Reality in the chat says, "What? I don't remember Contractor's PC graphics taking a hit." Look, dude, I'm just going off what my guys tell me. I haven't played the game enough really to know, but I've seen them in my Discord say it many times that contractors did take a step back when the Quest version released, and I trust them. I wouldn't repeat it if I didn't think something, if there was some basis to it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Phil Yarn that said that right off the bat because he's spent a lot of time in contractors. But I don't know. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how things play out. If this is going to be a trend that we see with games as they come out on Quest, they get dumbed down a little bit on the PC version. I mean, if it's at the same time as it's the release, you don't notice it as much. But this game's been out for a very long time, and so the hardcore players did notice it. And apparently it was pretty drastic as far as the stuff. So that's pretty good for a topic that didn't make your list. But
I assumed we would get to that stuff tomorrow because I mean, as banging as today's show is, the Monday show living right up to it. I mean, we're going to talk about first impressions of Dreams tomorrow. We're going to talk about first impressions of Paper Beast PC tomorrow. We're going to draw our winner for the Into the Radius keys tomorrow. And by the way, anyone who has yet to enter your copy of Into the Radius, be sure to go back and check out the last Monday show because today is the last day we're taking entries. So be sure to go check that out. And then if that's not enough of a awesome show, we got Game of the Month tomorrow, Roots, and it was a lot better month this month than it was in June.
Yeah, there's a lot of games out there, and I've had it go across my mind once or twice. So let me throw it out there before I forget a third time. Rendered Reality. I don't know if you saw the gauntlet we threw out last week for
something like that. Yeah.
You threw out the gauntlet for shooters, for contractors. We threw down the gauntlet for Grip, the racing VR game. I don't know if you guys have it, if you've played it, if you guys are racing aficionados or not. But our community's really loving some Grip. We'd love to get some racing against you guys going on soon. So
yeah, and that's not to say that we're not going to go back in for more contractors as well. But you guys play contractors, we play Grip, and you have been duly invited to join us in a Grip contest.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I played some Grip the other night. I don't know, they were having some technical issues they added a new track, they added a new car, and then all of a sudden we're having all sorts of fatal errors. So hopefully they have fixed the patch. So
yeah, Grip again. I don't remember who posted it, but somebody posted in the Discord a couple of days ago. Like it was at an all-time low, like $3 or something like that.
Yeah,
$4.
The bundle on Fanatical, Spry just posted. Grip is still on sale for $3.99. What a deal! And that's like a $30 game, I believe, and it's damn worth it. It's the best, not only combative racer I've played in VR, but it's the best racer I've played in VR, in my opinion. And it's the one I keep going back to.
Yeah, the jury's still out with me between that one and Wipeout, but just the fact that it's even a debate says everything you need to know, right?
Yeah, well, and I just go by the community, and it's just so much. We play so much. Everybody's ready to jump in there. Now, I will tell you this: if you want to get Root salty, jump in. Well, we're going to try not to let this happen anymore, but try to pick elimination as your mode, because I don't want to pick it. Elimination, when you die, you get to sit there and watch everyone else race for 7 minutes. And guess what Roots does right off the bat every time?
Smokes a ball.
Yeah, well, once I'm dead, yeah. But I end up sitting there for half of the time watching everybody else race. That's no fun. I don't know. I guess if you're the one person that survived, but ironically, that was never any of us. It was always some random that picked it. And so we put a kibosh and we locked the voting and we pissed everybody off. It was fun. So.
Well, you know which track gets my vote like every time, Roots?
The ice one? No, just kidding.
No, no, definitely not the ice one. It's the tutorial track. What's it called?
Oh, speed run, right?
Speed run.
Yes.
Actually, the one I like is the that was kind of a joke just then. The one I really like is the one that has like the bowl you go down into, and What's it called?
Oh, the toilet bowl one,
Yeah, the toilet
the
bowl one.
plunge, the plunge.
The plunge. Yeah, that's the one I always vote for. I like that one. It's fun.
Yeah, it's such a good feeling, and I don't know. Somebody was saying Tyler gets sick in virtual realities, but in like moving games like that. But I think he could do it third person, and he'd be okay. It's the
Yeah,
first
and it's not
person.
as it's not as bad as you'd think. Honestly, I don't know what it is about it, but I don't really feel the movement in that game like I do some other racing games. It's fast and very, very disorienting, but it never really has got my stomach at all.
Yeah, me neither. But no, it's rendered reality. It's definitely a good thing. We definitely play it all the time, and it's worth its price of admission, even at $30.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. Even though I don't know how many people ever had to pay that for it since it's been in VR anyway.
yeah, no, I paid like $3 or $4 or whatever. So actually, I've
Yeah.
bought like 4 copies for people. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, we need to pick up some for the 2020 show because, again, to top the giveaway we did with the 2019 show, it's going to take a massive undertaking. I guess we probably should take advantage of the cheap keys while they're there.
somebody was Scion or Spry Guy or somebody was actually talking about buying some for the show. We got people buying keys for us, bro. What a good place to be,
And
right?
I'm so grateful for our awesome community. They prop us up in more ways than one.
Yeah, absolutely.
They certainly save us from the likes of rendered reality when it comes to contractors.
Oh
I mean,
God.
I got my man Scion coming up and knifing people in the face to protect the weasel. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
I'll tell you what, and I wasn't gonna admit this, but my nightmare, I wake up in sweats and it's me and you versus the other two rendered reality. It's the two heads of the shows going head to head, and we get our butts smoked, Wes, because I know that's what would happen. So
Yeah, yeah, you're probably right there. But anyway, I guess we need to get to talking about some VR news. You probably have do you have a show today after the show?
actually what's ironic about that is we do not, because Anthony is a perfectionist and he didn't feel like the show was ready, and so we're going to take another week. But I'll tell you
Hey,
what, that's what you want, because he cares about the show, and we're going to put out a banger episode next week.
well, yeah, I mean that's awesome. It's an awesome thing about you know having your own show. You're in control of the quality standard, right? If it's not good today, we'll just do it tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's why I love me some Anthony. We were just talking last night about how his show brought us all together, and just how good he is at what he does.
Yeah, Anthony, awesome. Inspiration, a big part of the inspiration behind our channel. And yeah, continues to do an awesome job. Awesome job on his website too, VR Game Rankings. I just submitted Roots my top 97 PSVR games at Anthony's request because he wanted a little bit of depth to his PSVR rankings.
My God, what an undertaking that must have been. 97, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, it took me a while. It took me a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And
Well,
not your average PSVR rankings as you might imagine.
yeah, well, that's good. Well,
I think I had Beat Saber around like 30 or 40.
good. Well, that's where it belongs. Maybe even lower. Did you put Audica above it? Please.
Audica was just above it.
Oh, sweet. That's what I like to hear.
Anyway, chat filling out nicely. Radio Rut in the house. VR Spry Guy. Trev VR. Or Trey VR, I guess you'd say. Or Trevor. I don't know how he likes it pronounced. Rendered Reality. Matty Matt. Of course, my man Roots out there. Gamer Chick. How are you doing today? Person. And Jarillo. What's up, Jarillo? He must have heard his ears must have been itching, Roots. Spry Guy. PD. What's up, PD? Hussein X. Ion Prime. Just a ton of people. Ray Delator. What's up, buddy? DLG 27. Thanks for showing up, guys. Let's talk a little bit about something I'm rather excited about. And I've been kind of getting mixed signals when I talk to people about this. A lot of people are super hyped for the Star Wars Squadrons from EA, and I'm excited about it too. It's a AAA Star Wars VR game. It's a dog fighting game, but it's got 5v5, dog fighting, cross-platform, flat VR. Everyone plays together, consoles, PCs. It's going to be a big draw for VR. It's going to be a headset seller. Uh, and a lot of people are excited about it. It even has a single player campaign, which has really got me excited. But beyond that, I'm not much into flight sims roots. Not yet, anyway. That might change shortly. But I'm excited for it because I'm a Star Wars fan. But what I'm really excited for, maybe not as much, but close, if not, is the Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. And we didn't know anything about this game, uh, when they announced it, other than it was coming from ILMX Lab, the same people who brought us Vader Immortal. But that's really all we knew about it until this past week. We had us a nice little info dump, Roots, and now this game, which was once a mystery, and I use game loosely, right? Because it might not be a game at all. But this experience, it's shaping up quite nicely.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I think it is too, and it's kind of weird about because there is two Star Wars things coming out, even though they're two different games. There's a little bit of danger of people confusing the two, because even myself, I didn't even really. I just saw Star Wars and I pulled the trailer you linked and didn't even really look at it yet, and I was thinking Rogue Squadrons in my mind, or the flying game, and then as you start talking about it, and I was like, oh shit, this is a different game, bro. So even for somebody that's talking about it, there's that confusion. So hopefully that won't be the case, but I am excited about it because I feel like Vader Immortal was like, I don't know, it was like a good getting our toe in there, but I felt that even when we played it originally, I just felt like it was lacking. It was, there's just something, they needed more to it. So I'm hoping this one is just going to be a phenomenal game / experience as well, and fix some of the things that I didn't like about it. Like in combat, I want to move while I'm fighting. I've never stopped and planted my feet to fight somebody. You know what I mean? I don't like that. And so hopefully they'll fix that as well.
Yeah, I had a few complaints about it, but nothing really major except for one thing. One thing that really bothered me about Vader Immortal was the way they cut it up. 30 minutes, really? We're gonna charge people $10 for a 30-minute piece of a story, which I guess is okay considering it is an official licensed Star Wars story that you get to take part in. It really is like being in a Star Wars movie. Uh, but man, 30 minutes at a time. I really, really hope that when it comes to PSVR, that they just, let it all go at one time and they don't segment it the way they did on Quest and PC.
I think they learned their lesson, and the fact that they did it with PlayStation VR, was it PlayStation VR? They released it all in one chunk.
No, they haven't released it yet. We're hoping that that's what they do.
I would imagine they will. I don't know. I don't know if it was because they were trying to space it out, or it wasn't ready, or what the deal was. I think it would have been better. Well, I know it would have been better to even if they charged $30 for the full thing. I guarantee it would have been better for them. You know why? Because there's people in our chat. I think Spry Guy, for some reason, his name comes into my mind. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's a lot of people that bought Chapter 1. And maybe they bought Chapter 2, but didn't buy Chapter 3. There's a lot of people that only bought Chapter 1. But if you would have charged them $30 from the beginning for all of it, they would have made more money, because there wasn't, the people that didn't like it didn't know they didn't like it yet. You know what I mean? And so I think it was a marketing mistake. Now, if it was phenomenal and you just give them a taste, everybody's going to buy them all, and then it would have worked. But the thing is it wasn't phenomenal. It was Star Wars in VR, better than what we I was gonna say better than what we expected. It wasn't as good as we expected, but it wasn't garbage, but it wasn't as good as it could have been. You know what I mean? If it would have been phenomenal, then it would have drew everybody in. So I don't know.
Well, I for one really enjoyed it. I did feel that it was a little too linear. Like you said, it makes you stay on the beaten path, and it got better, a little better with that as it went along. In the early game, if you stepped out of line, everything just went black. That wasn't so bad in the second and then the third title. I also didn't care for the fact that during battle, you didn't really have to fight. You could stand there and let the bad guys just chop you to bits, and you wouldn't ever die. Hopefully, they'll remedy that. But with that said, it was a Star Wars experience. It wasn't a game, and I think that this is going to be an experience as well. And I'm okay with that. I enjoy Star Wars, and I love the idea of being in a Star Wars story in a movie. Again, hopefully they will build upon the experience from Vader Immortal, and I fully expect that that's going to be the case here.
Yeah, me too. And if you look at the chat, there's a lot of people that say I bought 1 and 2, but not 3. I bought 1 and that was it. So I guarantee they cannibalized their sales by spacing them out the way they did. And
It's unfortunate too, because I thought 3 was really good. It was certainly better than 2, and it may have been better than 1 as well.
yeah, well, I mean, and if you think about it, 3, if I was going to buy any, I mean, if you didn't care about the actual story, 3 would be the one to buy anyway, because you have the further dojo. 1's only got certain things. The number 3, you got extra stuff added to it. So, but I have all 3, and I haven't played any of them for a long time. And it's one of those things that I could show somebody if they're a real huge Star Wars fan, but it usually just collects dust. So I'm hoping this next one is a lot different than the first one, just because I enjoyed it, but it just didn't feel like it could have been. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
All right. Anyway, what kind of new information did we glean about Tales from the Galaxy's Edge this week? Well, details come by the way of Entertainment Weekly, which got an early look at the project. There's a few things we know. We know that Tales from the Galaxy's Edge is also a Disney attraction. Disney just opened up this gigantic, awesome Star Wars experience that is literally set in the same place that Tales from the Galaxy's Edge VR is set. And Roots, I'd actually I didn't know it at the time, but I did a 360 walkthrough in my Quest a couple of months ago just to check that thing out. I didn't know it was something brand new that they had just opened at the time. But my daughter came in here a few days ago. Hey, Dad, have you seen this awesome new Star Wars thing they've got at Disney? And showed me a high quality video of it. The 360 ones tend to be a bit blurry, but awesome attraction they've got it down at Disney. People should check it out. It's really interesting to see all that they've put into that. But Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, very much set in the same space as that attraction.
What a horrible timing to come out with a new attraction. And how funny is it that, because I know how kids work, that was like a small seed she planted. And then about 2 weeks from now, she'll start talking about, it probably won't be that busy at Disney this time of year with the virus, And next thing you know, Wes is standing in line for the Star Wars thing. Although that would be cool. There's certain things. I love Disney. I don't know that I'm rushing there anytime soon just because of the weirdness. But I would love to try these new rides, man. Hands down, dude. I guarantee they're phenomenal.
Absolutely. And we were already planning a Disney trip anyway. Not this year, but within the next few years, we were going to make a trip to Florida. We've never been. So I want to go to Universal Studios. I want to go to Disney. Wife wants to go to the beach.
Oh, wow.
So we were planning on doing that, taking, I don't know, 7 to 10 days and going down there. So hopefully the state of the world will improve and allow us to do so.
You said you never been?
Never.
Oh, dude. I see a lot of people have bad things. I mean, Disney's actually is a weird place if you look into it, and with some of the occult and all sorts of weird stuff. But on the surface, I've had more fun with my kids, especially when your kids are where your ages are. It's just so fun. I think you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyway, the placement of the story of Tales from the Galaxy's Edge is somewhere between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. And we also know that during this story, we're going to meet some classic characters. But it's interesting, Roots. They say we're going to meet some classic characters between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. And just that placement alone tells us of a few characters that we're not going to be meeting, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's definitely a lot of new characters I didn't see. Which characters are not going to be in there? 'Cause I didn't
Now,
get.
I don't want to spoil
Oh,
anything, but
okay.
we had a few exit stage left during these movies, right?
Oh, see, that's where I fall into a pit, a hole. I haven't watched any of the new movies. I haven't watched the Star
Ooh,
Wars for like
I'm
the
glad I
last,
didn't.
yeah, for like the last 3 or 4 Star Wars. Dude, I haven't even watched the last 3 or 4 superhero movies with the Marvel, with the End Game, all of that shit, dude. They started taking this, veering this weird direction and trying to tell Roots a bunch of stuff that's not right. And I just want a story, Wes. I just want you to tell me a story. I don't want politics in there. I don't care if it's on the right or the left. I just want a story. And we're getting into weird places where they want to interject stuff in there. But I've already gone down that road so many times.
Yeah, yeah, I've gotten used to it, and if as long as it's just not completely overt, I've just learned to deal with that stuff and look past it. If the story's good otherwise, but interesting, Roots. When we look at the new promo material and the promo reel for this game, at the very end, right here, exclusively on Oculus Quest, it says. It
Uh,
doesn't say launching on Oculus Quest. It doesn't say launching exclusively for
hmm.
Oculus Quest. It says exclusively on Oculus Quest. And as we've seen with Vader Immortal coming to PSVR, that announcement, we know that these kinds of announcements tend to be, timed. Very few true exclusives left anymore. But we do know that Oculus is, they do have their hands in the development of this experience. Do we think that this is really a true Oculus Quest exclusive?
Uh, I don't know. It sounds good. It makes me want to run out and buy an Oculus Quest, but then, a month after it releases, they're like, "Hey, we're bringing it to PC," and you're like, "What?" Um, it probably won't be. It's such a huge IP. I can't imagine them limiting it to just Quest, but maybe it'll be a timed exclusive. Maybe it'll be a year, 6 months. I mean, we have this new Quest coming out, and PD said it. If you were I think it was PD. If you were smart, if he was in charge of marketing, he would put this in the bundle, right? Maybe when the Quest 2 drops, it's a Star Wars bundle. That would just be a big draw for a lot of people, right? So,
Absolutely. And what about this, Roots? I mean, we've got Oculus Quest now, which through Oculus Link can play the full range of Oculus Rift exclusives and the entire library. Do you think we're ever going to see an Oculus Quest Legacy mode on Oculus Rift that does just the same in reverse? It allows the Oculus Rift through an emulator to play all of the Oculus Quest games.
I don't see why not outside of greed. I mean, I would love to play the Quest games, and it would be a way that it makes sense down the road, unless you really are trying to draw people away from the Rift S to the Quest. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't believe there'll be a Quest. This would not make me really run out and buy the Quest. I have to have a Quest to play this experience, because I know that eventually I'll own one. I'll own the Quest 2. I'll own something at some point, and then I'll get to try it. And this isn't like a must play thing for me, but it'd be cool to experience. So I don't know. It's an interesting time. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it, right?
Absolutely. Well, interesting that you brought up Quest 2 there, or Quest S, as I like to refer to it. You think that possibly that this title could be a launch title for that? We learned about this new Oculus headset and this new Star Wars experience right around the same time. Uh, Makes a lot of sense to me, anyway, that this would be a planned exclusive for the launch of the new hardware.
Well, and if you think about it, wasn't it the same thing with the original Quest, or for the most part? I mean, didn't it come with Star Wars Vader's Immortal at one point?
Yeah, actually, they did a bundle. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, so I mean, they could do the same thing, and Star Wars is a big enough IP. I just hope that they learned. They did make mistakes in Vader Immortal. Like, there's no way we have this many people saying I didn't finish the series if they didn't make mistakes. So I'm hoping they take those mistakes and learn from them. And I can't see how they don't. You know, like, it was glaring. They must have sat down and said, "Look, we lost this much money by doing the X, X, and X, and we got to fix it." You know, I mean, just like they did with the second episode, they stopped the clipping. They made it feel better. I wish they would have gone back and did they fix the clipping in the first one? I can't remember. I think it still clips, but I'm not sure.
I mean, you really have to make it do it by the end of it. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as it was at the beginning.
Yeah, no, the problem for me was I wanted to run ahead, and I would get ahead of the character, and then I was like clipping into that character. And in the second one, it was like you couldn't even get close to that character, whatever you were following. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of understandable. I mean, this is an experience. We really want it to be a game, right? And play like a game. But it's not. It's really an interactive experience. And I mean, people don't play Gloomy Eyes and get upset that they can't run around freely in it. I think, you know, I can kind of understand that. But, Roots, on the bright side, we did learn a couple of things about the structure of this game and how it's going to be different from the Vader Immortal, and that was one of the things that they actually mentioned is that they have wider areas and it's not as linear. The like this cantina, that is a fairly big set in the game. It's fully explorable. They let you hang out there. A lot of different things to do. You can sit and talk to this bartender character that Bobby Moynihan plays forever. And apparently, I mean, he's just put down hours and hours of dialogue just to sit and BS with.
wow.
So it is going to be a little more open and not quite as linear, not quite pushing the character through the story quite as quickly this time.
Cool. Well, it's coming later this year to a Quest near you only, supposedly.
Exactly. Quest 2, Quest
Yeah.
S.
Yeah,
Near
Quest
you.
S.
Also, we learned that the combat not going to be lightsaber combat this time, Roots. We're going to have blaster combat. So again, one of the things that's difficult to mess up in VR is shooting. So I got to imagine this is going to be another big plus for the game.
Give me a penalty. You don't give me a penalty, you messed up. If I can stand there and shoot you and get shot a million times and not die, that's a problem. I really do. I agree with Mamefan in so many ways when it comes, and I've solidified with him that he doesn't say it's across the board, but in a lot of instances like this, if you can't die, it isn't a game, it's an experience. And I think that you nailed it when you said nobody's getting upset about Gloomy Eyes and not being able to run around and do stuff. You know, I think that's the biggest problem with this is people expecting something different from what it is. It's an experience. And hopefully it'll be an amazing one. I think it will be. They've definitely got a lot of different characters, so
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of different characters from the various movies. This bartender character is specifically from the Solo movie that they released last year, the year before. Um, so yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Um, I'm completely agree with you about if you're going to have combat, you need to be able to fail. You know, if you're participating in the combat, there has to be some game like experience going on here. I mean, otherwise, just make it an experience. That just pulls you through, and you don't have any kind of interactivity through the battles. But if you're fighting, you got to be able to die. That's part of it, and being able to take an infinite blast to the face, it just breaks immersion.
yeah, and they don't even need to make it harder. I mean, you can die and not affect the progress. Games do it all the time. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that We were playing Windlands 2 last night. We must have died a million times. Hey, we just got the thumbs down. Oh, it went away. I was excited. We got our thumbs down. Someone thumbed us down for a second there, in real time. But yeah, no, I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, definitely coming this year. You know, there was some question of that for a little while, but we got it from the horse's mouth here. They said we've got the experience built out. So the time we have now is to play it, to feel it, to go, this could be better. That's broken. This isn't working. This is amazing. We need more of this. So basically, they're in the quality assurance phase right now. They're testing the game, tweaking it, polishing it, but definitely going to be out later this year. And I got to imagine um, if we are to see Oculus Quest S this year, that we're probably going to see this title day and date with it.
Oh, Reckoner VR just came in and he clarified he just got here, but he was not the thumbs down person. What's going on, Gary? I'm glad to see you every time you come in, man.
Yeah, I think our downvoter lurks in the shadows. I don't think it's somebody who's actively participating.
Yeah, I just think I like it. You know, it spices it up, and they'd say it's still good for the algorithm. So I think somebody was like, it was funny because somebody in another stream or a thing was saying it's ironic that people will come and they spend time to give your algorithm to boost it. The best thing they could do is just not do anything. But I think it's good.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I don't know. I mean, if it's every week downvotes, obviously this person's tuning in and watching the show every week. So, I mean, that's a good thing if nothing else, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's ironic. It's like they took the time to downvote and watch the show. But anyway, we digress. Let's I guess we got another topics, right? A couple more.
Well, Adam De La Torre says, I want to win, please. Adam, if you're talking about the Into the Radius giveaway, what you have to do to enter that giveaway is go to our last video, the Monday show 48, and leave the comment that you just put in our chat. Leave that in the comments for that video. And if you do that and you're subscribed to our channel, you'll be entered into the drawing. The drawing will take place live on the Monday show tomorrow. So be sure you get over there and do that today.
Yeah, dude. And Scion VR will tell you how good that game is, and it is really creepy. So
yeah, it's definitely it's one of the more unique games I've played this year.
Yeah, I know. My hair's messy, Scion. That's what Scion says. He just can't stand my hairdo.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Anyway, we opened up the Star Wars segment talking a little bit about a flight sim. Let's talk about another flight sim, Roots. Let's talk about Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. You know, we just talked about this game 2 weeks ago on this very show, and the article was all about how VR support was not coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator, at least anytime soon. That was based off an entire round of media articles which said just that. And here we are 2 weeks later, Roots, egg all over our face.
Yeah, for sure. And I actually was a little irritated with the news because I didn't get a Reverb 2. Isn't it it's coming exclusive, right, for the offset?
Well, that was the initial report, is that it was going to be a Reverb G2 exclusive when the VR functionality launches, but they went on to later clarify that it's all WMR. It's not just Reverb G2. They're going to launch the VR support with the Reverb G2, but any WMR headset will be able to play at that point.
Yeah, I was going to pre-order it, but I will not now. I will not order it until I verify that I can play it on my headset. Even if they promise me the moon, that kind of irritates me a little bit. So, but I understand it. Obviously, they want to support their headsets. So.
Yeah, dude, I think this is great news.
Well,
And
you've
I'm
got
not
it. You've
just
got the Reverb 2 coming. Of course, it's
no,
great news,
no,
bro.
dude. No, it's not just because I've pre-ordered the headset. We've talked about this 100 times on this channel, what exclusives do and what they mean. The fact that this is a Microsoft product supporting exclusively a Microsoft hardware, it shows a real change in attitude from Microsoft concerning VR. You know, they had let WMR pretty much just wither on the vine. They haven't really supported it at all with anything like this. And this is a huge title. For them to give any kind of exclusivity to their hardware is a big change from them. And I think that it's a great thing for VR.
Yeah, I think it is too. I mean, I'm only salty because I don't own a Windows mixed reality, and I'd love to play this on day one of release. But it's ironic. I didn't even know. I just learned something about Overgees in the last week. I guess he's a huge flight sim person, and so he's probably really psyched about this game. I'm psyched about being able to. I want to fly over real landmarks and check out New York City. I don't know that I'm ever going to be going to New York City, Wes, but I'd like to fly over it. Check out different things. I don't know if it's worldwide. I'd like to fly over Wuhan, China. I'd like to fly over a lot of places and just check them out, from the plane. Because I'm pretty sure if I tried to fly over Wuhan, China right now, I'd get shot down probably. But I can do it in virtual reality and not have any consequence. So
Yeah, dude, they'd try anyway, wouldn't they?
yeah, who knows, man. But what's cool is there's all sorts of different planes. It's not just one type. And Overgees opened my eyes to something, and I'm not sure which. I think it's DCS or whatever he plays now. He said his favorite thing to fly is the helicopter, and I was thinking, oh shit, man, it's probably not just planes, right? It's gonna have all sorts of things. And the fact that you got the landing gear. I mean, from what people tell me you could legitimately learn how to fly a plane in this thing. Now, I'm sure things might come up in real life, but it would be cool to be able to be that guy. And the plane's going down, and they're like, "Oh my God, is there a pilot on the plane?" And I say, "No, but I've played Microsoft 2020," and they're like, "Get on up here," and I saved the day, and I'm on the news. Podcast blows up, and yeah, there you go.
Sounds like a really solid plan, dude.
Yeah, I think it'll work. Let's do it.
But nah, super realistic, dude. This game uses ultra high resolution aerial imagery from Bing Maps, as well as machine learning technology to generate an incredibly realistic looking image of the world. The standard edition of the game includes 20 planes and 30 airports to visit, but there are expanded versions of the game that will give you more of both of those. So if 20 and 30 is not enough routes, throw down a little extra scratch and you can get even more.
I want it all. I want all the planes. I want all the destinations, all the airports. Isn't that weird that that's like one of the things that they tout? It's like we got so many airports to land in, and I think this is a real huge thing for people. And PD was saying he can't believe how real and good this looks. I'm the same way. Now I saw multiple planes there. Can you do multiplayer as well? Can I like fly next to Wes and look over and smash my plane into his or something and see if I can take him down? Or that would be cool.
I don't know. I know Microsoft, especially with Xbox titles, places a very high emphasis on multiplayer titles. So, where like Sony champions the single player story based campaign, Microsoft just the opposite. They promote multiplayer. So very possible. I haven't seen any such feature announced yet, but as you know, I mean that doesn't mean anything. It could very well be there.
No, dude, this is exciting for me. I mean, this is more exciting to me than a racing sim or whatever. Like everybody loves to fly. The thought of just checking out the United States or the world or whatever they're allowing you to do from that cockpit, I just think it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, and the fact that they're releasing this functionality day and date with the Reverb G2, which happens to be the highest resolution consumer VR headset that we've ever seen. I mean, it's brilliant, right? This is the sort of thing that would sell that kind of hardware, right? I mean, it's already known as a sim a piece of hardware built for sim enthusiasts. So to release this incredibly highly detailed piece of simulation software at the very same time with this incredibly highly detailed piece of simulation hardware, I mean, that's brilliant to me.
Yeah, it is. And I bet you got to be excited. Imagine how
Dude,
good this is going to look. Have you bought the pre-order?
no, you mean the for the headset or the game?
The game.
No, I actually wasn't aware that they were taking pre-orders on it.
Yeah, I just saw it on Steam yesterday, actually, and I literally thought I ain't buying shit. Kind of like what Gary just said. Until I literally know that day I can play it on my headset, I'm just not going to buy it. And to me, that's just sending them a message that I don't like what they're doing, even though I understand and I agree with what you said. I don't like being on the outside of being able to play it. I understand it, but I don't like it. So
yeah, they're being they're being smart here, and when we talked about this game 2 weeks ago, PD said it: no VR, no buy. And look at us now, right? Now we've got VR, even if it isn't going to launch it for every headset on day one. Just the fact that we're 6-8 weeks away from having VR support for this title. I mean, it says everything that I'm excited for this. Like, I'm not a sim guy, and I'm especially not a flight sim guy. Like, I've never had any desire to play flight sims. I played Ace Combat, and it was pretty cool. But I've never been like excited for a flight sim until now. I'm legitimately excited because of the headset that I'm getting, because there's such high resolution in it, and because this game is so realistic. This game is going to feature real-time events routes, so it's going to have day and night cycles depending on where you're at in the world. It's going to have real-time weather in it. So if it's raining in New York and you're flying in New York, you're going to get a fly through that weather route.
Oh, that's cool, because like you could literally, like, say the winter and it's like a huge storm in New York City or on the East Coast, and you could say, well, I wonder what it'd be like to try to take off in this weather, right? There you go. You just jump in your plane, start in New York, take off, fly in it or whatever. I think that's really cool. Now, PD did say that they verified that there is multiplayer in here, but it's not the same plane. Like, you can be separate planes. But so I thought that was pretty cool.
That is still cool because you have a lot of freedom. I mean, total freedom with your plane. You guys can fly wherever,
Oh.
and you can just join the Virtual Strangers Discord. Link is in the description, and link up on there, and you guys can have in-game chat while you fly around.
Yeah, Delirium Drew says he's flown around Google Earth. I don't know that that's the same as what this is going to be. This is going to be next level as far as feeling like you're literally over that environment. But I think it'll be cool. And I don't know what's going on with okay, Jarillo, he gets our faces this whole time. He's been waiting for the show to start, and we're started, bro. I guess there was some kind of issue with his video, but he was able to hear our velvety voices at least, right?
Was that? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
Maybe Jarillo just thought we were a half an hour late, 45 minutes late the whole time.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Rendered Reality has the idea. He says he wonders how many people we can fly in formation. So we'll get like 50 people. We'll just see if we can crash the server, right?
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. And Drew, you say that you've flown around in Google Earth. You know all those blurry bits in Google Earth? Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to use machine learning to make all those blurry bits fill in and crystal clear. It's going to be complete resolution map of, I mean, obviously it's not going to have everywhere in the world. A lot of these, countries won't allow Microsoft to send their satellites overhead. But, if Bill Gates is tight with anyone, Roots, it's China. So you may get to live your dream and fly over Wuhan after all.
Yeah, because I can't. I tried to go down the streets of Wuhan and Google Earth, and it would not let me. So
you should try Bing.
Bing. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out. I did see some, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of see, I just like to check out locations. You know what I mean? I'd like to fly over where the tsunami in Japan happened. You know, all disasters for Roots. So
Yeah, tsunamis happen in Japan all the time, Roots. I mean, the way Godzilla attacks those poor people.
yeah, yeah, right.
Anyway, no, just an awe-inspiring amount of detail going into this piece of software. You know, Roots, you can buy a physical version of this if you've got enough room in your house for it. 10 disc physical
Oh
edition
my God.
of Microsoft Flight Sim 2020.
You know what's funny about that, Wes? I don't even have a disk drive on my computer anymore.
I
So,
don't either.
you know, I don't watch DVD. I think I might. I think it's hooked up. I mean, I've got it, it's just not hooked up with the SATA. I don't know. It's an old drive, but I just never use discs anymore. And to think of uploading 10 discs, you know, no, that's too much for me. It'd be nice to have
Yeah.
I guess the physical copy sit on the thing, right?
Yeah,
So
they should let those people have those discs a week early just so they have time to
install it all.
install it.
Yeah, dude. I want to be the guy on the runway directing you and tell you where to, and then make you crash because you're going in the wrong spot. That'd be fun. I
Yeah, I mean they could have like crossplay with PSVR, right? And then the PSVR version, you could have people down there with move controllers, right? Like waving you in.
yeah. Yeah, and that's all you get to do on the PlayStation VR version. So if you want to upgrade, got to go to PC or Xbox. Oh, somebody said this is actually free on the Xbox Game Pass, or they thought it was. If that's the case, that's really good. That Game Pass is, I mean, you get Sea of Thieves and you get this. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really confusing, and I don't want to get off on a tangent here. I guess this is a larger topic, one for the money show. But Microsoft's approach here is really confusing because you know, their whole approach is we don't care if you buy our console or not. I mean, you can play all the games on the old consoles that you can play on the new console. If you don't even want a console, you can play our games on PC. And people say, okay, that makes sense. They're not trying to sell hardware, they're trying to sell software. But then you look and you can play all the software for $1 a month.
Hmm.
So where does Microsoft make any money in this equation? I don't get it.
Yeah, maybe it's in government programs. It's the same thing with
Right, that data sales, right?
yeah, it's kind of the same thing with HTC. Like I was saying at some point, I'm like, man, they must be supported by the Chinese government because they're losing money for so long. How do you do that as a company and still continue to do along unless you have government funding programs, right? So,
I do not know, man. I have no idea, but I do think that this is a good one for the money show. We're going to do a money show this week.
yeah, I'm ready to do the money show for sure.
How about some golf pool? You want to shoot some golf pool?
Ah, yeah, let's do some golf pool because we got that key and we still haven't checked it out, right?
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. As little as $3 a month to support us on Patreon, you can gain access to bonus content like the Money Show. And Money Show 4 coming this week. You heard it here first. We're going to be talking about a lot of the biggest topics in VR, all while playing a game. And this week, that game is going to be Golf Pool VR.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds awesome. Sounds like a lot of fun. Speaking of a lot of fun, Roots, this next game very near and dear to my heart. And you know, we've talked about this game over the last few months. I've kind of kept it on the DL because I wanted to wait until we had a release date, till we knew a little bit more about it. But we've been following this one for a while quietly. But the time has come, Roots. We have a release date. The time has come to unveil Moose Life to the world. For those of you who don't know, Moose Life is from Llamasoft, a UK-based studio from legendary game developer Jeff Minter. We're getting Moose Life on August 12th, Roots. And, you know, anybody who's followed this channel for any amount of time knows what a fan I am of Polybius. And as much as I like the follow up to Polybius, which was the Minotaur Arcade Volume 1, compared to Polybius, it was a bit of a disappointment. Great game, don't get me wrong, a lot of fun, but nowhere near the level of Polybius. Moose Life, on the other hand, I don't think it's going to have quite the level of polish that Polybius had on it. This looks a lot closer than the Minotaur Arcade, or at least I think so.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell's going on in this thing, man. There's all sorts of things flying at you. It looks just as chaotic as Polybius. And like we've said before, Polybius shines when it comes to out of control and then feeling like it's out of control, but controlling it and having all those visuals, man. It just looks trippy as hell, right?
Yeah, man, the game is a psychedelic trance shooters where people are subjected to a blaze of neon glory as they blow enemies into colorful neon particles. It's another one of those games like Polybius that just tries to overwhelm the senses, right? It disguises itself as a shooter. It says, "Here, player, play this shooter." But when you get in it, you very quickly realize it's not about the shooting, it's about concentrating. It's about being able to see past all the stuff that is flowing into your eyes and ears and focusing on the little bits in there that you really need to lock onto. Um, I love Polybius. It's one of my very favorite VR games. I just mentioned to you that I did a top 97 for Anthony for PSVR games. I think Polybius was in my top 10, top 15 games on
Wow.
PSVR. I love it, and I'm absolutely. I can't express my excitement enough for Moose Life. I cannot wait to get my hands on this title.
Yeah, me neither. It looks good. And I know, like I said, Polybius for me, even now I go back into it and I have a lot of fun, especially after I Colorado it up. This one looks like it would definitely be just as entertaining, if not more.
I mean, look at the layers, just the different layers of shit going on in this game. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely they definitely are all about retro, like Onakazi says, and it's on point for sure. Like Drilla says, it's really good, and I can't wait. And this is exactly what we've been saying. You've been following this for a few weeks. You knew it was coming, but we didn't get the details until now, and we're 11 days away from getting this game, bro. Like, that's just what's so cool about VR is like all of a sudden this game is just here, and it's good for 2020 because people have no patience, Roots included. And I'm glad that I don't have to. I'm sure we might even be playing it a little bit before that. I'm sure we'll get a good copy or a free copy because the developer is really cool and has been cool to us. So
Yeah, Onakazi says he has more time in Grid Runner than Polybius, right around 14 hours. Well, I've probably got more time than that in Polybius, but I don't know. I probably played Grid Runner 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, but Polybius I played completely through all 50 levels. A lot of dying involved there, and even after that, I've probably played through the first half of the game again already. So.
wow, that's
I
crazy.
played quite a bit.
It's a lot of time, Wes. You could be playing Sea of Thieves.
Indeed.
And what are you doing? Just
I'm
kidding.
playing Polybius, bro. VR for life, son. I don't know what to think. I think my VR Discord is turning into a flat gaming Discord, man.
It's a mix. It's a mix for sure. But I'll tell you what, I do get a lot of crap from Scion because he said that the other night. He's like, man, this is VR, bro. So we went in and we played some Windlands 2 last night just to get him
Awesome.
off my back.
We'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a moment. But more on Moose Life here. As you said, I've been following this game for a few months now. Through his, I mean, in plain sight. I mean, he's been uploading videos on his YouTube channel of this game forever now. So it's not like it's exactly been hiding. But the inference before was always that Moose Life was just going to be another title on the Minotaur Arcade Volume 2. So apparently, um, I don't know if it's because he wants to bring it to market quicker or if the other game wasn't quite living up to Moose Life, or if Moose Life's just so good that he thinks it could stand alone on its own. But for whatever reason, Minotaur Arcade Volume 2 not coming obviously anymore. Now it's just Moose Life standalone.
And well, I mean, there must have been something else, some other game, right, that was going to be on that list to fill out number 2. Maybe that's not ready. And so they just decided to release this one, or maybe this is more full-fledged than they thought it would be. So
People always thought that he was going to bring out that one Tempest game, and the last Tempest game that he put out in VR. But I've never seen any kind of evidence of that. But admittedly, it would be really cool.
yeah, I agree.
Anyway, what time is it, Roots?
I think it's quote time. I gotta have noise,
It is
Wes.
quote time. Absolutely. Jeff Minner episode of Quote Time. Quote, Moose Life is the latest step on our journey into euphoric trance. Created in the style of an 80s arcade game, but fully immersive in 3D VR. You'll feel like you're inside the mind of Eugene Jarvis himself. Roots, who's Eugene Jarvis?
I've never heard that name before. Who is King
I have
Jarvis?
no idea. Yeah, well, I guess we'll do the latest episode of In Real Time here, and we'll ask Google who Eugene Jarvis is.
I've never heard that name before, and it's a good name though. I like it. Sounds important.
I bet whoever he is, he takes drugs, Roots.
Well, if he's making this game, tell you what.
Oh, well, maybe not.
Is he?
Eugene Peyton Jarvis, born January 27th, 1955, is an American game designer and programmer known for producing pinball machines for Atari and video games for Williams Electronics. So
Really?
I bet Mamefan might know who Eugene Jarvis is, the old pinball guy.
Yeah, that's weird, huh? Yeah. So why? So do they not do? They don't. Pinball guys don't do drugs.
Well, maybe they do. I just figured it would be some
Young guy.
if he was referencing this dude. I figured it would be some kind of psychedelic Timothy Leary type,
I'll tell you what. A lot of people think older people don't smoke weed, but I live in Colorado, and it happens. Willie Nelson. They Willie Nelson it up.
Dude, I'd love to visit Colorado.
Yeah, do it. Come. Radio Runt's moving down the road. A few hours away, like 5 hours away. So.
Drillo says Lamco instead of Namco.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a way. He lives on a farm, right? And he actually, you hear these farm animals in like the chaotic audio of all of his games. These animals that you're hearing, these are his animals. He literally goes out and records his llamas, his sheep, and puts those sounds into his games.
Wow. I'll tell you what, this thing looks crazy. It looks psychedelically insane. And I can't wait to try it.
Onakazi says that Eugene Jarvis was the maker of Defender and Robotron. Well, I do recognize those.
Wow. Can you imagine? I want a VR Defender, like like some of these old school games, like bring them into virtual reality in a way that's never been done. It'll be cool.
Hussein X says, I think one of you hasn't yet checked out Res Infinite Area X despite owning it and playing the older levels. Yes, Hussein X, that was me. I played through the entire original game in VR, but still never went back in to check out Area X. And I know that's the one everybody says, dude, you got to check out Area X. I've still got that to look forward to. You know what I'm going to do, Hussein X, just for you? That'll be one of the very first things I do on my HP Reverb G2. I'm going to go check out Res Infinite Series X.
Area X. Well, what's funny about Area X is I played it and I don't know the difference between. I feel bad because people are like, dude, you got to play this level. And I played it and I was like, I don't know if I played it or not. Did I play that level or the other levels? Apparently it's much different, but to me it seemed the same, but I don't know. I don't know what the hell was going on. I was all Colorado'd up, man. I might have been in a different world.
Person says Res is in his backlog. You should definitely check out Res. It's a great classic arcade shooter. But with that said, if you haven't tried Polybius, I'd say try it first. Polybius is it's a masterpiece.
You know, it's funny. Every time we talk about Polybius and Resident Infinite, we always have somebody in the chat that's like, I finally bought it. So we've sold a lot of copies for Jeff. We better get a free copy of.
You know what? I'm buying this game, Roots. I'm not even going to ask for a key of it. I want to support him. I know that it took him a long time to make profit on Polybius. People just didn't buy it at first.
Oh wow!
It has kind of garnered a cult classic status now, so I got to imagine he's made money on it by now. But you know, this is one of those cases where I just want to support the developer. It's a one-guy team. You know, he's making the games by himself, and I want to support him. So
Wow,
I'll probably just buy this one.
cool. I'll maybe I'll buy it too, instead of playing your copy.
Yeah, we got to support our one dev teams, and we got another one coming up. We're going to talk about in a few minutes that very much fits this definition. But first, Roots, you said you guys were playing Windlands 2. What a fun game, right?
Yeah, dude. We had a lot of fun actually. Although Radio Runt didn't have as much fun for some. He was like, partway through, he's like, this is. I guess it was. I don't know if it was too hard or not that it was too hard, but he didn't like the going around, swinging around, and some of these things were really freaking hard, dude. And but when we got to the last boss fight we fought, because it was me, Overg's, Scion, and Radio Runt, we had a lot of fun and it was good. So.
Yeah, man. You know, Windlands 2 can be very fun, but if you're playing multiplayer with people who have a different experience level than you, it can be frustrating, especially if they don't wait for you. You're always trying to play catch up, falling, trying to get back up. So I totally get it. It can be quite frustrating.
Yeah, but you know what was weird? Something I wasn't expecting. The student became the master, Wes. Okay, and I'll explain this. As I'm going around and I'm thinking, I'm going to show these guys how to go. I couldn't catch Scion, man. Scion was like starting boss fights before we even got there. And I was like, what is happening? Like my honor was completely screwed. And now it was a lot of fun, but Scion rocked it, dude. Like I couldn't catch every time. As a matter of fact, I think it was Mamefan went into Scion's body and took over, because that's what I felt like. I felt like we were back when it was me, you, Alex, and Mamefan. And every time we turned around, Mamefan was up and already at the checkpoint. So I give props to Scion.
Yeah, the addition of the story and the fighting and the boss fights in the Windlands 2 really makes that game what it is. It's so fun, especially the boss fights as a team. Really, really fun.
Yeah.
So shocked that game never came to PlayStation VR.
Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness to it too. Like I'm still not happy about the fact that you can play crossplay, but between Oculus and Steam, but you can only play 2 people. If you want to do 4 people, you got to have 4 people on Steam or 4 people on Oculus. And so some of us have bought 2 copies because of it. I know I'm one of them. I think Radio Run or somebody else bought it on Steam as well as Oculus. And so I guess they're doing it right. They're making extra money, but it's a little off-putting. So.
Yeah, I kind of don't get that either. I'm sure there's some technical reason for it that flies way over my head, but from the layman's view, it looks a little bit unfair.
Yeah. So
anyway, why am I talking about Windlands 2? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we learned of a new game this past week, Roots, a game called Yupitergrad. And Yupitergrad is being developed by Poland-based Game Dust and is on its way to PSVR headsets later this year. And first of all, shout out to Poland, man. That place is a hub of indie VR game devs. I mean, just tons of them. I mean, at least every other episode, I'm talking about some game, and then we have Simplex show up in the comments saying these guys are from Poland. These guys are from Poland. Super Bright from In Death, the untethered version. Those guys are from Poland. The Layers of Fear devs. Those guys are from Poland. And now Yupitergrad. These guys, Game Dust, from Poland. Roots, you know, I watched the trailer for this video, And a lot of people were saying Spider-Man, sci-fi Spider-Man. I see sci-fi Windlands here.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And you know what? It solidified it, dude. I'm moving to Poland, and then I'll make a good game. You just have to live in Poland, and it just happens. Apparently that's what I think. I'm gonna maybe not, but no, this actually the gameplay looks phenomenal. I like the fact that it does look a lot like Windlands, but it looks like you're in a comic book world, and you're actually swinging through obstacles like that blade, and it looks like it could be really cool. Now, is this just is there like any fighting? Are you shooting stuff, or is this just I mean, so far I'm just seeing them, go around these environments, which is cool.
My understanding of this game is let me read the description to you here. It says you're cast as a Russian cosmonaut, and you travel to a base on Jupiter to test a new device. Things go haywire, and soon you're swinging for your life. You traverse a giant facility, dodging hazards and perfecting techniques over 50 levels. So what I think is going on here, Roots, this is an escape game, right? You have to escape quickly from these large labyrinth-like levels. So you're trying to swing around, avoiding things that can kill you as you swing. Again, quickly, but it's a maze at the same time. So you're trying to find your way out.
Ah, it looks really cool. Yeah, I think this is going to be really good. It looks amazing.
Yeah, and what about that cel shaded art style, right? It looks like Lives Beneath with a lot more color, or a little bit like I don't know. We've seen like Borderlands looks kind of like this. Radial G, Proteus looks like this. Even to an extent. Um, what's the other game we like to play? Gunheart. Gunheart kind of looks like this. I love it. I think it always translates very well to VR, and it's a good way to have beautiful looking art in a VR game without a lot of CPU overhead, right?
Yeah, it's definitely going to translate to Quest really well. And it just looks like it's going to be fun moving around, swinging around those environments, right? And trying to get through, like you said, an escape the room game in a different way. And maybe you go the wrong way and you're screwed. I don't know. It just looks cool.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, the environments, games like this, it's all about the environment. And they look wonderful from this 1 minute clip that we've got here. It looks great. So kudos to Game Dust. Keep it up. Can't wait to play your game. Uh, you know, Game Dust's been around the block, Roots. So this isn't their first rodeo. They've brought us titles like Spud's Unearthed, Never Out, the puzzler, the escape puzzler in Overflight. So this is not their first VR game, not by a long shot.
Yeah. I wonder how good the swing is going to feel. Because that's what I mean, in Windlands too, they nailed it. It does feel so good. So as long as they can get the swinging to feel as good as I know it will, it'll be amazing.
Well, they said over the course of 50 levels, which, by
Oh,
the way,
shit.
dude, 50 levels, right? I mean,
Yeah,
what the
dude.
hell?
Yeah, that's a lot. I'll
But
tell you, these games are getting bigger in scope, and that's good. Oh,
yeah, but they said over the course of the 50 levels that you're going to be learning new techniques. So I'm starting to think that maybe this game would have a little bit more depth to the swinging than a game like Windlands even has, because Windlands, it's just the one thing swinging around. I mean, as far as motion goes, obviously there's battle and story elements and stuff too, but with just regards to the swinging, I think that we could have a little bit more depth of gameplay here than even Windlands.
yeah, and this has something to do with those lights as well. Because if you notice, they were red, and then at some point they're lit up, and it's like he's directing light beams or something. And I'm not sure how that's happening, but and then also I noticed as he's swinging across some of these areas, he was literally having to, or she, I shouldn't say he, could be a girl, trying to grab onto these moving things, right? And so you could almost only grab onto those blue things, and so that's kind of interesting as well. It's not just any surface all the time. So I like that.
Yeah, totally like truly pumped for this game. And you know, it's interesting, Roots, because you know, uh, this story and the story of another game we're going to talk about later. Both these stories came from Upload. Upload totally pumped the other game up, like you know, got people hyped for it, then announced it. Um, but of the two, this is the one I'm more excited for. This one looks really awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I agree with Hussein X. We've been hovering around the 700 subscriber number for too long. Get us through 1,000, damn it. I want to see that burst. But
Hey man, yeah, I agree. But you know, that's up to you guys. You know,
yeah,
I can only do so much self promotion. That's what we rely on you guys for. So help us spread the word. Tell a friend. Tweet us out there on your social media and Instagram. Let people know about the awesomeness that is the Virtual
yeah, or
Strangers
posted it in
show.
Reddit. I see like gaming science teacher, she posts a lot for a lot of other shows. Become a gaming science teacher for Virtual Strangers. So
Absolutely. Anyway, Yupitergrad on Oculus Rift and HTC Vive Roots Q3 via Steam VR and Viveport. No mention of WMR or Valve Index here, but I'm starting to think that these are just mere oversights. That it's not that these games aren't covering those headsets. It's just people have gotten used to saying Rift and Vive for so long that that's just kind of the line that always gets put out there.
oh, Mepper, man. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Mepper? I forgot to put it on live chat as well until right now. Still on top chat. And so that sucks. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that it defaults to top chat and then people get missed as far as what they've said. So that's kind of crappy.
Yeah, man. I actually looked for a setting in the stream settings today to see if I could avoid it from doing that, and there's nothing there.
Yeah. Garbage Town, YouTube. Fix that.
Yeah, absolutely. Top chat. It's a good way for them to censor chat that they don't want to
Yeah.
put out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Anyway, Oculus Rift HTC Vive Q3 via Steam VR and Viveport. Roots, and we were just talking about this. Of course, Oculus Quest and PSVR versions are planned for release at a later time. They always put that in there, right? Whether or not it's actually going to come to Oculus Quest and PSVR, they all have that plan, right?
Yeah, why not? There's no downside, no penalty. No one's holding them to it and saying, "Hey, look, dude, you said might as well promise the moon and hopefully deliver it."
Yeah, what it actually does is it makes for some very compelling PSVR content on YouTube, because anytime any of these developers tag PSVR or mention the word, it immediately makes it to content in the PSVR community. New PSVR game announced.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, really.
Anyway, I hope it does come to PSVR. And actually, it's kind of surprising. Look at it, Roots. Is this guy holding Move controllers? Those look like Move controllers.
Yeah, could be Move controllers. There's no real doesn't look like tracking issues. Although, I mean, I am assuming you're going to need to be turning around and swinging in every direction. You might run into issues if you need to go back, right?
It's all about the implementation, Roots. You know, we talk about Move controller and the limited, and honestly, it's not the controller, it's the camera, right? It's the controllers are fine. It's the camera that causes the limited tracking area. But it's all about the implementation, and you know, I realized that lately, not only with Iron Man VR, but I've been playing Dreams, and you know, I forgot just how good a big budget Sony exclusive can be. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow on the Monday show. But if it's done right, I mean, the aim controllers, I mean, the move controllers, um, they can be very useful. I mean, you can work around their deficiencies. A talented developer can, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. For sure.
Anyway, we were talking a moment ago about Jeff Minder being a one-man team and how we need to support uh, these one-man teams, and I think that goes doubly so, Roots, when it's a friend of the show. when somebody who's really been cool supported our show, and such is the case for Jeff Fletcher and his game Distortion VR. We talked about Distortion VR, I don't know, 2-3 months ago. At the time, we knew very little about the game. In fact, we didn't even have a trailer. The clip reel that I showed back then was actually something that I put together myself, scouring the web for these 20 and 30-second clips via social media. But now, Roots, not only do we have an updated trailer, and obviously, again, he's working on the game himself. He's done it over the course of a year by himself. Not only do we see the game world that we saw before a lot more filled out now, uh, but we've got a trailer, and we also have the release date for the Kickstarter campaign, which just so happens to be yesterday. Distortion VR Kickstarter live now. And I wanted to bring everyone's attention to it because I think this game looks really cool. It looks like a lot of fun. And again, this guy, Jeff, big supporter of our channel over the last 6 months or so. A really cool dude, and I really want to help support his game.
Absolutely. I mean, if he's got that good a taste in podcasts, I'm definitely down for him for sure. But yeah, if he's, I think I might just, like you said, you're going to support the Kickstarter. I might do it as well. Because it does look really good, and I do want to help support anybody that not only is supporting the channel, but supporting VR and creating something so cool by himself.
Yeah. So this is a cyberpunk game, right? And it's cyberpunk theme. It's story driven. Has a very cool cyberpunk, futuristic dystopian story attached to it. But the gameplay is more of like a classic shooter game, like a classic PC shooter game. So really cool. And last time we were looking at these clips, Roots, a lot of the similar locations that we're looking at here, but no NPCs in them before, a lot more of an empty world before. This thing looks like it's filling out nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I need to listen to some of the music. It says it was done by Leon Switch. Have you heard of him before?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, Leon Switch is a fairly well-known electronic music artist. I mean, it's not my particular genre, but I did look into this guy when we covered this game before. He's got followers all over the world, and yeah, his sound is a very big part of the atmosphere that Distortion VR is trying to create for us.
Well, Kazi just said that it's pledged right now is at $666, and he doesn't know if he can break the perfect amount. I'm the opposite, Onakazi. I feel driven to break that amount. If I go to somewhere and they tell me my total is $6.66, I start looking for something else to buy just to get it off of that number. So I'm a little weird that way. Oh.
Yeah, we have the power, friends, to defeat the evil.
Yeah,
and I think we have a mandate, Roots.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so let me tell you a little bit about the story of Distortion VR. The world of Distortion exists in a cyberpunk megacity in the near future. It's a world where technology is being abused and the citizens are being controlled by thought from birth. What's real is uncertain. The population's perception of reality is being controlled unknowingly by EA Corporation. The rumor has been said that this is being done using a form of artificial neural implants initiated at birth. The implants are controlled by, I thought it said EA, it's FA Corp. FA Corp's main data servers to control the significant actions taken by individuals. Free will and liberty have been engineered and distributed at scale to the masses. These actions affect everything from the political, career, and financial decisions throughout the implant sector of society. So what we have here, Roots, in my opinion anyway, is a pretty strong metaphor for life in 2020, right?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I could have sworn, and maybe I'm wrong, but I could have sworn I saw a Masky walking around there. and that's what I call people that wear the mask, a masky. And then maybe they're incorporating that. Maybe this is the 2020 in December. This is what we're gonna see. Now, Jarilla says he's not a big fan of the way this looks. I think it looks good. I don't know what you're seeing there, but I think being in that environment is gonna look amazing. But I guess only time will tell, right?
Yeah, and then again, you got to consider the fact that this is it's the product of one guy and it's alpha footage. I mean, we're not looking at a finished product here by any stretch, and that's what this is for, right? It's what the Kickstarter's for. Um, but yeah, I'm with you, Roots. I think it looks quite good, and I think that it's awesome that we finally have another cyberpunk game, but this one doesn't look exactly like lo-fi like all the other ones do.
Yeah, it's true. And you just made a good point. And there's a good, I mean, Drillo makes a valid point. I mean, if it's, I think we're both of you are, because we are, it's a Kickstarter. So I guarantee it's not gonna, this isn't the final stage. This is an alpha build and it looks really good for an alpha build. Last time we saw it, it didn't even have NPCs. So we'll see what it looks like when it's done. And then Drillo can shit all over it if it sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he says he wants his Deus Ex Human Revolution VR.
Yeah, me too.
I thought you were the Vorpex guy, Drillo.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely, if anything, I mean, the environment may not look where it's going to be finished, but the gameplay looks good. I thought that robot was really cool, the big robot you're fighting, and the gunplay, so we'll see how it all comes out. And, maybe we should all support this game so it can be really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I am. I'm going to support. I'm going to support the guy just for being a cool guy alone. I mean, the awesome looking game is just a bonus for me. But I would very much appreciate your guys' help as well. Support this game if you're interested in it, and if not, at least help us spread the word. I haven't seen much on it, surprisingly, on any of the big VR media sites. Nobody really knows that this thing's in Kickstarter yet. Even people that are looking forward to it don't know yet. So help us get the word out there and let people know that Distortion VR is it's up and the Kickstarter campaign is up and running.
Absolutely. And I agree with Radio Runt. They're having a small discussion in the chat about Vorpex because I guess that whatever that I am do X is bad in Vorpex, but Radio Runt has a good point. He says there's a lot of friction in Vorpex, and I feel that way too. I guess we'll find out when Wes goes into it and figures all that out. But I just, man, it's just
I played Journey yesterday, Roots.
Oh yeah, how'd it go?
Completely friction free and amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you go in, you search for the profile, you load the profile, you load the game.
See, it's only as good as that profile. That's the thing, because I load profiles all the time and they're shit. But I'm gonna have to give Sea of Thieves another try probably, although I don't have the Steam copy.
Well, what you got to do, Roots, is you have to do your research beforehand. You got to know which profiles work and which ones don't, which ones are good, which ones are bad. This is a program that turns flat games unwillingly, against their will, into VR games. Obviously, it's not going to work on every game. It's going to be hit and miss, but you can do research. The info's out there. We can see which ones are good and which ones aren't.
Things change though, because like when I did my research on Sea of Thieves, Paradise Decay told me in his video to use Tyrael, whatever that guy's name is that does videos, and so I used it and it was shit. And then the next time I talked to Paradise Decay, he recommended a completely different profile. And I was like, but that's not what the video was telling me. So I guess it is knowing which profile is the good one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about that. And I would like to point out that Outsource Future Mental has joined the chat. This is Jeff that I was just talking about a moment ago, guys, the developer for Distortion VR. Everybody say hi. And if you have any questions for him, feel free to ask.
Absolutely. And Paradise Decay, you said my version of Sea of Thieves will work. It's not on Epic, it's on Microsoft, and I can't seem to figure out how to block it. I know people have done it. If you have a way to block it, let me know, because I'd rather try it without buying it on Steam again, because I bought it on Steam and then returned it because I already own it just to try it. But if I could play it in VR, not only will I enjoy the game better, but I will literally drag Scion VR into Sea of Thieves and maybe even Wes.
Yeah, I mean, if I can play it in VR, sure.
So I mean, those are my reason to buy a Steam copy. Then you could play my Steam copy, and I'd play my Microsoft copy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Distortion. I've got some bullet points here that I pulled directly from the Kickstarter page to let us know what is this game offering for your $20 or more back. Your Kickstarter back. You're going to experience a massive cyberpunk world and experience a deep, complex storyline. And we just talked a little bit about the basis for the storyline, which was cool enough. I think it's cool that he's promising us a massive cyberpunk world here, Roots. That's always a concern with these types of story-driven shooter games, is that the scope of the world might be limited. Apparently not going to be the case here.
Oh, good. Well, I'll tell you what, I it looks like it's more full-fledged than most of the sci-fi games we've seen. Everything I've seen in lo-fi, as amazing as it looks, I haven't seen any gameplay. I've just seen environments, and it's been so long. It worries me. I own it. I mean, I bought the Kickstarter, so I'm going to get to play the finished game, but everybody points to that, and it's not full-fledged yet. And I'm not saying it won't be, and it'll probably be amazing, but why point to something that's not, as you're pointing to something saying, wow, this game is not that other game is not this game actually has fucking people, and you can shoot shit and you can do stuff. It's just weird, man. Like, I'm not knocking lo-fi, because I think it will be phenomenal, but everybody points to that game, and it's not finished yet. We don't know what it's going to turn out to be until it's finished. So
you just don't get it, bro. You don't get it. That game is beyond gameplay, right? It's so advanced that it doesn't need gameplay.
Doesn't need doorknobs either, apparently.
Apparently not. In Distortion, you will explore the immersive, detailed cyberpunk world, including city streets, flying car sequences, dark alleyways, building hallways, bars, nightclubs, rooftops, subway trains, metro stations, and many new levels, which are currently in development. You're going to choose from a variety of high-tech cyberpunk weapons, ranging from pistols to automatic weapons. And, of course, you're going to choose your play style with a variety of control options, included two-handed motion controls, official 3D rudder support, aim controller support, and standard gamepad. Roots, he had me at aim controller support.
Yeah, for sure. Anything at aim, to me, I just don't get it. It's like that should be the goal of every shooter. Now it does make it a little bit weird, because if you're using a handgun, clearly the PC version is going to be different than the PSVR. It's going to be they're not going to give you this two-handed gun and then have it be a handgun. That would be very bizarre. So they'll have different weapons. But yeah, I agree. And that's one of the things that people don't realize. If you have a PlayStation VR or have had an aim controller, that is a drive. You're like, oh God, I want to play more games. And it's a very big reason to buy a game if it's done well. So
yeah, absolutely. We do not have enough aim controller games on PlayStation VR. That alone is worth your $20 pledge, in my opinion.
Yeah. So that's what do you get with that $20? You get the copy? Do you get a advanced copy, or are they doing that?
No. You just get the game. Now there's a higher tier that has a demo attached to it. I think like $30 or $35, something like that. You'll get an early demo with that. But even that, $20 is a discounted price apparently for the game. That's the base tier that includes the game.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I'm willing to wait for it to come. It looks good. Like I said, I like the gameplay. I like that robot mech thing. Gives me hope for what this is gonna be. And I'm psyched to see it.
I am as well. The game promises a full-length story campaign with additional endless mode. So after you finish the story campaign, still going to be plenty of gameplay ahead of you. It says discover the parallel universe of mind and audio frequency. This is the type of stuff I like to hear, especially when you've got a guy like Leon Switch doing the audio design for the game, or at least the soundtrack. And by the way, all of the tracks that Leon Switch does for this game, exclusive to this game. So if you're a fan of him or that type of music, the the Distortion VR soundtrack is going to be comprised entirely of exclusive music.
Oh my god, I think Paradise Decay is giving me tips for Sea of Thieves to get Vorpex to work, and I think I might try it this afternoon if I can on my other copy. Hopefully it'll work. And it's totally off the subject, but no, I like I said, I am really excited for this game. And do we know how far off it is? Is it a ways away or?
I'm not sure if he has an estimated release date. Jeff, if you wouldn't care to put in the chat there, when do you? Well, he might not even be listening to me. I'll ask him in the chat. When the I think it was. You know what? I don't even need to do that. I can just bring up his Kickstarter page here.
Okay.
And I'm sure that it's listed on there. I was thinking it said maybe October next year. Let me see here.
Wow.
Let's see. Okay. No, that's just me talking out of my ass. Give me a second and I'll tell you exactly when it's coming. Yeah. Oh, no. It says October 2020.
Oh, wow. Oh, so it's coming. It's coming quick.
Apparently a lot farther along than I thought even.
How crazy
awesome,
do you think this country will be burning by October?
I hope not, dude. I will have only had my new headset for a few weeks at that point, and I wouldn't even have my PlayStation yet. So
yeah, give us a couple years with our PlayStation 5. Let Wes fly around the world in his Reverb 2, and then you can let the country burn down.
Yeah. Let me play with my new toys for a little bit first, guys. Come on.
No, I don't think this is Jeff from Half-Life Alex Durillo making this game. I think that's a completely different Jeff. I had fun with Jeff though. I left him alive. A lot of people killed him. I left him alive. He's still down there somewhere.
Yeah, I did. I totally destroyed him. He tried to kill me, Roots.
Yeah, I'm not partial to people trying to kill me either. Usually if you try to kill me, you're gonna die.
Yeah. Evil must be banished from the world, even virtual worlds.
Yeah. So Jeff says, depending on the Kickstarter success, if he can get it done faster, and have another programmer to help expedite the process. So
see, that's what this is all about. And he's not asking for a ton of money here. It's only a $10,000 Kickstarter just to get some help in there to get the game finished. And again, even if the Kickstarter is successful, I would give you this bit of success. We would always rather wait for a game than wait for a patch. So, take your time, make sure you get it right, make sure you deliver your backers awesome game, and I'm sure you will. Roots, I've got he sent me the link for the demo to this. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet.
Oh yeah.
But I'm looking forward to checking it out, and I'll send it to you too, and maybe we'll talk about it on an upcoming Monday show.
Yeah, I was just thinking that we can try it and then let everybody what we think.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like fun. Maybe even no, we've already scheduled the money show, so we'll take this one to the Monday show.
Yeah, sounds good.
Anyway, if you are like Roots and I, and you would like to help support the development of Distortion VR, you will find a link to the Kickstarter campaign directly in the description below. It's the very top thing after our show rundown. The first thing you'll see is the link to the Distortion VR Kickstarter. Help us out, guys. Even if you're not going to back it, help us get the word out about it. Even people that were interested in this game when we talked about it before, don't know that the Kickstarter has finally launched. So let's get the word out there, okay?
Yep. Sounds good.
Anyway, Roots, a moment ago we were talking about Yupitergrad, and I said when the very same day that Upload, uh, you know, announced Yupitergrad to the world, they were pumping up another fairly big VR title, and that game is Frostpoint VR Proving Grounds. This is a game from In Exile Entertainment, which is, of course, the studio behind the Mage's Tale, the Bard's Tale series, and yeah, they're a very large, well-known VR development company. Um, Frostpoint VR Proving Grounds is a team-based shooter for PCVR, which takes place in a mysterious frozen wasteland. Frostpoint VR is set in a dilapidated military base in Antarctica where strange biomechanical creatures now roam. Roots, let's start with the good, okay? This thing looks polished as hell. It looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Actually, I was looking at the assets, the cars, everything looks really amazing. Trying to figure out what the downside is to it. I mean, maybe do we need another multiplayer shooter? I do like that. Is it? I guess it's team based, right?
Yeah, it's a team-based up to 10v10
Wow.
competitive multiplayer VR game.
Wow, that sounds good. It does look really good. So tell me about the bad, because now you got me curious. What's the bad in this? Because I
Well,
don't.
you just said it, Roots. I mean, it's a competitive multiplayer VR game that's aiming for 10v10. How? I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks like a great game. How in the world are they going to keep these lobbies full?
I don't know. Driller just made a good point. He says he's loved the Mage's Tale and they left it on a cliffhanger. He's been waiting for a little bit more content and it's just not happening, right?
I guess, well, it's a fairly large team, so maybe they're working on that as well. But no, apparently they've put a lot of time and resources into this. This thing is absolutely, I mean, it looks like a AAA VR game, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it looks amazing actually. Oh wow, I can hear my voice a little bit better. I had the audio down. That was weird. But yeah, no, it looks really amazing. And we've been looking for something. I thought maybe this was gonna be like a two-person co-op or I want a Farpoint, dude. I want a legit story shooter that's gonna lead me through. And maybe pull a co-op person in there. I don't know that we need another multiplayer shooter, but hopefully this one will be
Look,
good.
I'm all for that, but I'm with you, dude. They should have attached this to a story mode, right? You should have been able to play through like a co-op shooting campaign, something like Evasion or something, where you can go through it with friends, and there's a story, there's a lot of action. I mean, they have a beautiful world here. They have the enemy NPCs. This isn't straight player versus player. There are non-playable characters that spawn as well on both teams. So it's not just the 10v10 players, but enemy AI gets involved as well.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the things that they're trying to do is it's what PvP, PvE or whatever, however they listed it. They want it to be like a merge, which I don't think that there's many out there. Usually, if it's multiplayer, it's just the multiplayer. So it is intriguing to have those NPCs added, and I'd like to see how that all fleshes out. But as long as you're adding those, why not add a really cool story campaign? And Scion made a really good point, and I'm sure they'll add to it. But 4 maps, that's going to get boring pretty quickly, right? You need more than 4 different maps, I would imagine.
Well, it depends on how big these maps are, and I'm sure there's going to be more, in the future. It's very rare that a game like this launches with a fixed number of maps and never gets added to.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I got to imagine we're going to get more maps for it. But I mean, 10v10, I got to imagine these are pretty large maps.
Yeah, and it probably gets crazy. I mean, it looks cool. I love that many players. It definitely adds an element to it, and it shows that they're adding to multiplayer, because usually they can barely get 5 versus 5 to run properly. So 10 versus 10, that's quite a feat, right? As far as what's
It's
going on, and all
it's
the NPCs.
ambitious.
Yeah, all the NPCs. It's gonna be a lot of shit going on.
You know what I find interesting, Roots, is it's called Frostpoint, which is very similar to Farpoint, right?
Hmm.
Farpoint has a versus multiplayer mode that got added into the game, and it was interesting. They added in two maps. They were icy maps, much like the ones we're looking at here. And the big hook, what makes the Farpoint player versus player unique, is the fact that you have the ability to spawn non playable characters, enemy AI, to go after the other guy.
Hmm.
So it seems like, at least from my perspective, that they're borrowing a lot of the things that Farpoint did really well.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe they'll do the opposite. Maybe they'll put this thing out and then they'll add a story campaign down the road. Now, Hussein X makes a good point, says that this interests him more than Onward, Contractors, Pavlov, few of the other FPS games. And I must admit, the environments and just the way it seems better. Like I'm not a sim person. I don't need to feel like I'm going into World War III and I've got realistic weapons and we're all talking through comms and you feel like you're a real soldier. I'm not a soldier. I want the environments. I want the fantasy. I want to have that multiplayer in a fantasy world, just like I would in any other game. I mean, just because I'm in the experience doesn't mean I want it to look like the real world. The real world is boring, Wes. I want fantasy. And it looks like this really adds a lot to it, man. And and I'll say this, and if the devs are listening, game modes, multiple game modes. It says, what are they? There's popular ones that everybody loves: capture the flag, domination. Don't give me some control bullshit where I got to go take one node and just hold it. There's reasons why Call of Duty, Halo, they have these rotating maps, the capture the flag, the domination, whatever it is, kill confirmed. People like them and they flow well, they do well. And sometimes the game modes kill these games. It's like like Contractors was shit, man. When it first came out, that game mode sucked. I hated it. Now they're adding good stuff to it and people are actually flocking to it because they're good. So that's my rant.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how good it turns out to be, coming from a development team that has made very different style of games up to this point. But it looks great, and looks like it's going to have a lot of variance and detail to the game. It's said to include over a dozen weapons, which not only help you fight off the opposing team players, but the so-called reclaimers, which seem to spawn from the ground. Rich, do you think the reclaimers come from the inner sanctum of the abstainers?
I think so. I think they're somehow we're going to see that mix. That would be actually pretty cool.
You can realistically hold each weapon with one or two hands, load, rack, fire, and clear them, as well as change firing mode. So they're going for realistic weapon mechanics with the 12 or so weapons that they provide. Tools and munitions help round out your arsenal, including grenades, health kits, armor upgrades, turrets, and tracking upgrades.
Oh wow, turrets. I mean, it sounds like they're adding more than just the average shooter, so maybe it will be amazing. I mean, I like the fact that you can slap a scope on there. I do like realistic weapons in the sense as how they fight, fire and stuff. But I think there's a lot of potential for this game, and it's just different enough to be like Hussein X was saying, from all the other shooters that everybody loves, that it can set itself apart. So
Yeah, the question, in my opinion, I don't think it's any question whether or not this is going to be a great game. Obviously, it is, but we've seen other great shooters in VR, fail miserably, just because they can't support the lobbies. There's not enough players, right?
right.
Hopefully, VR is far along enough now that a game like this can survive.
Well, Gerillo makes the point, and this is key. It needs to not be only online. Like I should be able to go into this game by myself and play against with a complete team that's AI against another team that's AI and just play. And then if people can join in and they take over those bots or whatever. That's my opinion. I should be able to play this full game without anybody. Everybody's AI but me. And that's the goal. And if you can do that, then it doesn't matter if the lobby's full, because you're still going to go in there and play, and then people join in and it starts to fill out, you know? So
I concur 100%. You know, a lot of the things that keep people out of games like this is social anxiety, and nobody wants to go and learn how to play a game with people looking at them, right? People want to learn how to play the game first, and then when they think that they're pretty good, then jump in with live competition. So I think it would, you know, that's one of the things I like about Firewall is you can play Firewall for weeks without ever talking to anybody. So I think that this game could definitely take a page out of their book.
yeah, absolutely.
An open beta is said to arrive in the near future in preparation for a launch later this year. Both a Steam and Oculus Store version are coming, and In Exile says that they have been working on this title for a number of years in secret. Yeah, I mean, that much was obvious, right? You could tell from the level of polish on this game that they've been working on it for quite some time.
Yeah. So hopefully they release it properly, because it does look good, and looking forward to playing it.
Of course, Rich, you know it looks good now, but when that Quest version comes out, it's going to just go all to shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be garbage, dude. So hopefully play it now before it gets to Quest.
Well, you say garbage, I say charming.
Oh yeah, charming. You know, wasn't that one time that what did I call the HTC garbage one time, just jokingly, and rubbed somebody the wrong way. I won't say who. You know who you are. I didn't mean it was garbage. It's actually a good headset, I promise. It's still good.
Yeah. All right, Roots. We are quickly approaching the 2-hour mark here. I've got one more topic I want to run down, and we're going to run through it pretty quickly here because I got to go to work, bro.
Yeah.
And we're running on here. And what I want to talk about is party time, Roots. It's a DLC party. DLC coming at us left, right, and center from all of these different games all at once. And who doesn't love DLC, especially free DLC?
Especially in the first game we're going to talk about just came out, dude, and they're already adding DLC. What an awesome developer, right?
Yeah, dude. Superbright continues to impress me with their release of In Death Unchained. You know, I was already impressed with these guys because they came out and said, okay, we heard you. We're going to add in free locomotion, but it won't be ready on launch. Guess what was ready on launch, Roots? Free locomotion.
That's crazy, right? Well, it's good. Always under promise or under promise and over deliver.
Well, they're doing that and then some because they announced this past week some updates and upgrades to the game. First of all, patches in recent days have brought significant visual upgrades to an already good-looking game. So we now have lighting effects, Roots. We have fog effects. We have a brighter color palette and more detailed textures. The game does look noticeably better now than it did on launch.
Wow, that's crazy. So that shows you that the Quest isn't the death nail of a game. Now, when do I get to play this on Rift?
I don't know, man. I don't know how that's going to work because there's already a version of In Death on the Rift.
That's true, and I think I like the In Death version better on the Rift just because I can throw that shard. I love the shard, Wes. I gotta throw that shard. It's so integral to me for the movement, but I want to see the cherubs and some of these enemies. So I'm kind of torn.
Yeah, dude. There's definitely a lot to be offered here with the untethered version. The developer has also announced a Hall of Fame competition that will run through August 4th, which will see the top 4 on the leaderboard permanently recognized in the game. So if you're this in-depth master, you might want to pick up your Quest and get to playing because if you can secure one of those top four spots, your name will be immortalized forever within this game.
Wow, yeah. And you know what's funny is it reminds me of oh, what I just lost what I was gonna say. We were talking about another game, and it'll come back to me. I did not shard. I sharded, I guess, is what person says.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely an amazing game. I can't wait to try it when I get the Quest 2, and I'll be able to see it in better graphics as well. So
Absolutely. So we've got visual upgrades, we've got full locomotion, we've got the Hall of Fame competition. That's not all, Roots. Super Bright has also promised to unveil a new gameplay mode today,
oh,
which will
wow.
add even more replayability of the game. They may have already even announced this, Roots. I just haven't, you know, caught it because we're here doing this. But apparently, more gameplay modes coming to this game. What's it been out a week, 10 days now?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I was gonna say Audica. You know, I just found out that Jim Hall has a he's actually Coach Tony, he told me, for Audica. And if you play Audica, he's like the ridiculous Coach Tony. Whoever Coach Tony really is like, his records are so freaking high, no one's gonna catch him. And Jim Hall, I didn't even, this whole time, that's Coach Tony, apparently.
Well, there you go. If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, now you know.
Anyway, DLC Party moves on to another fan favorite title, Roots. Pixel Ripped 1995 has just seen what Arvor Immersive has called their Ultimate Challenge update, which also, like In Death Unchained, adds plenty of new content. The Ultimate Challenge update aims to increase the replay factor of Pixel Rip 1995 with new features, challenges, secrets, and rewards. First of all, we've got a hardcore mode, Roots, that toughens up the enemies to give players a real challenge, whilst a scoring system for each of the 6 levels means that you can try to improve your best score and time on each of them. So not only have they made the game more difficult, Roots, but they've added in leaderboards.
Well, that's cool, because didn't they? I mean, that was one of the things that people kind of complained about, ironically, is that this game wasn't as hard as the first one, even though people complained the first one was too hard. So giving us options is good, right?
Yeah, that's always what I say. The more options, the better. Give the player options. Let them play the game they want to play.
And truth be told, I probably will go play through this again in the hard mode, just to see if I can beat it, and just to experience this game again, because it's so good.
Well, Roots, as you head back into Pixel Rip 1995, now keep an eye out for hidden golden cartridges, which will unlock secret content.
Wow, that's cool. I want to see the Virtual Strangers level. Right, that'd be cool.
Right. Well, you can find the PD, was it trading cards they did this time?
Yeah, dude, I want some PD trading cards. I never found them, so I need to look.
I found a few of them. On the gameplay side, Dot gains the Ripped Boost ability, making her super powerful when she gathers enough pixels.
Oh wow, so there's actually incentive to getting the pixels, right? That's good.
Well, I mean, besides not dying, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a incentive to getting all of them now, you know.
Well, it's kind of like the old Sonic back in the day, the rings. You know, I never cared about how many rings I had. I just made sure that I had at least one, so I didn't die. And that's kind of how I've approached Pixel Ripped. But now I'm going to be approaching it a different way.
Yeah, well, that's cool, right? I mean, a game that's already fun and immersive, giving you more, not only incentive to play, but completely different ways to play.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
Other additions include 8 new armor designs to unlock for Dot, pixel doors, which offer alternative routes, an interactive comic book with an original Pixel Rip story, and a new after credits scene.
Oh wow, I'm gonna have to get to that. PD says he never found himself in the game, and he feels a little sad about it.
Well, we'll put the call out now, guys. Let's help PD find himself,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a guru.
yeah.
We'll help you find yourself, PD, your true self.
Your true self is out there.
But so yeah, Roots. It's interesting that they add these scoreboards in, right? They allow you to tweak the difficulty. They give you new weapons and abilities and new routes through the levels. So not only are you being scored on your performance, but now there's a lot of differing ways that you can get to the end, which is only going to allow score variance, on those leaderboards.
Yeah, that's really cool.
As always, with this and every other game, it will be coming to PlayStation VR, but a date has yet to be officially given.
Yeah, cool. Well, it's coming. Just have to wait.
Coming to PSVR live on all other platforms right now, though. So if you guys own this game, this is a free update. Live right now. Go play it.
Yeah, I think I might be checking that out this afternoon.
Compound joins the DLC party, Roots. Who knew that over the last year, the game has seen consistent updates every month, which have added new enemies, weapons, bosses, and more to the game.
Yeah, this game is so good. This really does encapsulate this type of game and make you feel like you got sucked into old school shooter. And there's so many different weapons, and they just nailed this game. I really the time I've put in, and that was like a year ago. Can't even imagine what the hell they've added to it since then. If they've been updating every month, and it's not even that expensive a game, right? Isn't it like $10 or something, or
$20.
$20? Okay, that's still good. So.
In the last year alone, Roots Compound has seen 17 updates,
Oh Jesus.
which have added 6 new weapons, 5 new mini bosses, and 2 major bosses to the game. Developer Bevan McKechnie says the game's demo has recently been updated, allowing new players to get a glimpse of the changes. So not only have they updated the game drastically, Roots, but this famed Compound demo that everyone talks about has been updated as well.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't own the game because I've played somebody else's copy, Mamefans probably, but I think I'm going to buy it because I want to own it, and I obviously want to give the devs the money, but this looks like a game that I want to actually own and go back into from time to time, right?
Right, and if a guy's going to put this kind of work in on a game, he deserves to be rewarded for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The weapons include a dart gun, a revolver, sticky grenade launcher, pulse generator, blast pistol, and laser pistol. The mini bosses are a giant rat, an accountant, a spider tank, Booster Bruce, and lab director. And then the major bosses added in is a CEO helicopter and the gold leader. In addition to all this, Roots, he's added in mutators such as a gun magnet, which when enemies drop weapons, but you can't reload it. The damage amplifier, all enemies die with one shot, but so do you. And the people populator, where enemies have less HP, bullets move faster, and more enemies spawn. So a whole new game now, Compound, as to what it was at launch. And again, kudos to Bevan McKechnie for continuing to support his game and really making it something that you know that's a deal at $20, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you didn't think it was worth $20 on release, it's definitely worth $20 now, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh God, Mamefan did the game without the save update. That does not surprise me. But it's cool that they added a save update to where you can actually save the game. That is cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Anyway, moving on. The DLC party will conclude with one that has yet to come, Roots, and I'm talking about Gadgeteer. Of course, Gadgeteer is the Rube Goldberg inspired physics VR game, and it is set to leave early access on PC VR headsets and Oculus Quest August 27th. and it's slated to arrive with a host of new features. Metanaut says that players can expect the most requested features to be included in the full release. First of all, Roots, there's an online sharing function. We reported on this a while back, which will let users share and play other people's machines. These will include the ability to like and bookmark a machine, filter between puzzle and sandbox machine types, and sort through hot, popular, and new categories. Of course, the game will come loaded with a puzzle designer that will let you create obstacles, limit the number of usable gadgets, and test solutions for machines before you upload them online. So this seems like a Mario Maker level of attention to detail here when it comes to the level creator and online sharing features that are about to be added into the game.
Yeah, it's really cool because what it tells me is that sometime in the future I might actually get to play a Mamefan level, and that would be crazy because that somebody said in the chat that that this is one of his favorite games. As a matter of fact, this is his gameplay that we did from several episodes ago. But he played through the entire game, and it's difficult, man. I think it's really cool. I love user created stuff. It just gives infinite gameplay, right?
Yeah, dude. And not only do you get all of this this online stuff and puzzle designer, but one of the other big features that are set to arrive with the game's full launch is 40 new gadgets to use in the game.
Wow. I wonder what those are. You know, it reminds me, maybe it'll get crazy. I'd love to see like a what was that one game? I think they have a version of it in VR, but Mousetrap. You know, that's kind of reminds me of that type of thing. And I just think it's cool. You know, who knows what kind of gadgets they have.
Yeah, dude. It's hard to say. This game is already, in my opinion, polished enough to be considered, a full release, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But now they're adding in all this extra content. Dude, this is only a $15 game, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, and it's definitely worth $15 all day. For sure. Although I'll tell you what, it's a very puzzly game. So if you don't like puzzles, then you're probably not gonna like this too much. But if you love puzzles and figuring stuff out, I mean, there's so much. Even without the 40 new gadgets, I can't even imagine how they're gonna implement those into the puzzles as well.
Yeah, no, right. There's already so many as it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you own this game already on PC and you don't want to wait for the 27th? Well, the studio is offering up beta access of the 1.0 version of Gadgeteer at some point mid-August, which will be available to owners of the game. So they have there's a form you can fill out if you want to participate in the beta and get to play the game a little bit early. And if you already own it on PC, again, this is not for Quest, this is just for PC. You can do so. Just get on their website and apply.
Nice. Now, does that bum you out a little bit? Because you said you well, you don't own it anyway, but this is a game you loved playing on Quest, right?
Yeah, I actually own this on Quest, but I've got access to the PC version as well. So.
Yeah. Well, you were saying you loved the fact that you could sit there in bed and play, and just it was really a cool game to play in your bed, just sitting there, right?
Only thing that I'm missing was the elastic strap, so that could be super comfy laying in bed.
Yeah, well, it's coming.
Indeed. Anyway, with that's going to wrap up the DLC party, and that's going to wrap up the news portion of this episode and bring us in to our weekly reminders. And we're going to start off this week, as we do each and every week, by asking you good people to join us as we go and wish list some of our favorite games that we talked about this week. And Roots, do I even have to say what I'm going for?
Well, there's all sorts of stuff to go for, right? I know you should definitely wish list, if you haven't, the Microsoft game, right? The flying sim.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but that's not what I'm going for. I am going for Moose Life, brother. all day long. I'm about that moose life.
Yeah, I'm going for both. I definitely want to get that Microsoft. I'm gonna get it. I really hope it doesn't take too long to come to
Man,
the
dude,
Rift S.
look at that thumbnail. I want that as a poster, a T-shirt, even.
Do it.
That
Make it.
psychedelic moose. That
Yeah.
things look awesome.
All right. It's added. August 18th.
Boom.
I won't.
August 12th on Moose Life.
Yeah, I will not be able to. I've been thinking about Death Stranding. Every time I see that thing, I'm such a weird game. I don't know if it'd be worth buying though. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks awesome. I was really hoping that we would be able to get it up on Vorpex, but unfortunately, it runs on that Decima engine from Guerrilla Games, and
Doesn't work.
Vorpex will not attach to it.
Yeah. Bummer.
Anyway, with the conclusion of Wishlist, that will bring us into our next reminder, which is free stuff and killer deals. And we're going to start, as we always do, by giving you a reminder of the PS Plus games for August. We've got new games this month, Roots, available today, actually, even early, is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Just the campaign version, though. I don't think the multiplayer is included, but you can get the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign absolutely free, included with your PS Plus August games.
Oh, nice. Well, D-Rail says he loves Death Stranding, so maybe I will check it out. But
yeah, I think it looks awesome.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing coming out with PS Plus this month, Roots. In 2 days, there's a game releasing called Fall Guys, which is up to 50 player. It's like a versus multiplayer game, like an arena based thing. It's not out yet. It releases on August 4th. It also releases into PS Plus on August 4th. So as soon as this game releases, Roots, you're going to be able to get it for free with PlayStation Plus.
Nice, man. That's a good deal, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting a multi-platform release. It's going to be on different consoles and PC, everything.
Yeah, well, that's good. That'll fill the lobbies for sure.
Yeah, $20 game included with PS Plus this month.
Wow.
Pretty awesome. Epic Games giving us 3 free games this week. 20XX being one of them, Baroni the second, and the last one, Super Brothers, not to be confused with the Super Mario Brothers Roots.
Mm-hmm. So I was thought about. I need to go to Epic because I haven't actually haven't been going there as often as I can to get the new ones. I don't even know what Super Brothers is. Is that a good game, or do you know? I just opened Epic.
I'll tell you, I know one thing about it, and it is a good thing. It's free.
Oh, well, yeah, that is a good thing. Everybody loves free, right?
I know I do.
Yeah, I do as well.
Hussein X says Distortion is what caught my eye from today's per wish list. That's awesome. So yeah, help us get the word out on that game, Hussein X. I'd like to see it succeed in its Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, me too.
Roots, I almost didn't check Viveport this week because so much stuff has been coming out. Not almost, but it's been coming out weekly. But last week I thought that had to be it, right? Wrong. Viveport keeps going, dude, with the Infinity. This week we have Snapshot VR and Escape Room VR Inner Voices. So this Escape Room game was a game I was about to write an email to request review access to. Don't need to do that anymore. Can play it on Infinity now. Snapshot VR is a competitive paintball game, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a brand new game that just released. It's not even out on Steam yet, Roots. It's coming out next month on Steam. It's a Viveport exclusive at the moment, and it's included with Infinity.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this, and I guess this is more for the audience than you. Like, if you don't have Viveport Infinity, what the hell are you doing, bro? Like, unless you're Mamefan and you own everything already, like, what a great price for entry to all these games, right?
Dude, it's on fire right now. They've added 2 awesome games every week. And Roots, there's some new coming soon games on there that I'm going to save. as a surprise.
Hmm.
You're not going to believe the shit they've got coming up on there, dude. I saw 4 other awesome games on there that are coming to Viveport Infinity soon.
Wow. Well, now's the time to get in if you haven't. Actually, the time to get in was when it was $27 or whatever
Yeah,
it was.
right.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely a good, viable way to try out games and see if you like them. And yeah, it's cool.
Absolutely. Viveport just never ceases to amaze me anymore.
Yeah, especially since it was something that I was never going to put on my computer after Anthony scared the hell out of me. You know, it was gonna crash your system, and like it used to do that, right? Like Viveport would suddenly your computer would crash or something weird.
Yeah, that's what they say. Luckily, I never dealt with it back in those days.
Yeah, me neither. But no, that's definitely worth price of admission, and I guarantee there's at least 10 games on there, including Tornuffalo, that you've never tried. So
Absolutely. Anyway, we're going to wrap up free stuff and killer deals with a reminder that if you would like to have Into the Radius for free, you can do so by visiting our previous episode, the Monday show 48, and making sure you're subscribed and leaving a comment saying that you would like to enter the contest. Today is the last day to enter the giveaway. We're going to be picking winners live tomorrow on the Monday show. So last call for alcohol, folks. Get it while you can.
yeah, for sure, man. We're right on the cusp. You could be owning it. Put it in the comments, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. And if you don't win it, we just talked about Viveport Infinity. That's a good way to play it for free if you haven't.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. And with that, it's going to bring us to our final reminder this week and every week. And that, of course, is how you can support our channel. Of course, if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up with all of our content here on the Virtual Strangers channel. If you're not a new viewer and you would like to do a little something more to help support us, you can do so by supporting us on Patreon. Whereas for as little as $3 per month, not only will you gain early access to our weekly show notes, but you will gain access to bonus content such as The Money Show. Roots, The Money Show 4 coming this week live from Golf Pool VR. I'm looking forward to that one.
yeah, absolutely. It's definitely be careful with Dirt Rally because it's not crossplay on any console. Technoglitch 6666 says. So
There you go.
yeah.
If you don't know, now you know.
Yep.
And finally, maybe you would like to join the conversation. Well, you can do so by scrolling down to the description below. There you will find an invitation to our Discord, which is popping 24/7 with VR peeps, sharing all the latest news and views in VR. Join the community, join the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you know if Roots is going live on Twitch unless you followed or you see my announcement in the Discord? The Discord's the easiest way to see that, or anybody really. We got a lot of people that go live or they self promo. And then of course the looking for groups. We're always filling in grip games, contractors, Windlands 2, whatever. There's always something going on.
There's always something going on.
Yep.
Indeed. Anyway, with that said, friends, I would like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We will see you tomorrow for an epic Monday show 49. We'll see you then, friends.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I did my thumb the wrong way. Damn it. Go.